All right, let's do this, guys. Welcome to the Mike Check Yourself show with your host, Legacy Mike. This is the Mike Check Yourself show. This is a show for the misfits, people that don't fit into normal society, the unemployable, the entrepreneurs, the people who aren't afraid to get sent to the principal's office, the people that aren't afraid to say what needs to be said because they don't care about going to HR. They don't care about getting rent up and losing their jobs because we're entrepreneurs and we take control of our lives.
Totally
So we're going to say stuff on this
agree.
show that's controversial. We're going to say things that need to be said. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So let's start this show with my favorite segment, which is Open Mic. This is where I talk about whatever I want to talk about. Like we're in a comedy club. I'm going to look you in the eyes. I'm going to make jokes. We're going to be controversial. We're going to have a great time. So yesterday was Inauguration Day. Woo! Some of you guys are really excited. Some of you guys are scared. If you're scared, this is not the show for you. If you're excited, keep listening. You're my kind of people. Welcome to the golden age of America, guys. We are entering into an amazing time, an unprecedented time where new things are going to happen, where we are so excited about the future. Look at all the stuff that happened yesterday. I mean, you got to give it to Trump. It doesn't matter who you voted for, what you like, what you don't like. Man, that guy is a marketer. I swear, yesterday I was watching the inauguration and I was just like, I need to get up and like salute, and like tears were running down my eyes. Like, what a beautiful nation that we live in. What an amazing time. How exciting. Whether you like the guy or hate the guy, can we just acknowledge that Donald Trump is one of the greatest marketers, the greatest influencers, greatest salespeople this world has ever seen in the history of time? That guy can rally people together. Some
Totally
of you guys would argue
agree.
that he likes to divide, but I would totally disagree. If you look at the facts from 2016 to 2020, our economy was great. People were coming together. You know, you have the COVID thing at the end. It was, all kinds of craziness. But man, I felt like everybody was just coming against him and they wanted him to fail. And despite that, our economy was great. And then look at the past 4 years, guys. Just look at the facts. Inflation's at an all-time high. Everything's expensive. We have all these policies. We're sending all this money to foreign countries. It's just a mess. So I I'm overly optimistic about what is going to happen these next 4 years. And I'm just praying that it continues, that this truthfully is the golden age and that we're going to crush it together. So, second segment of the show is this thing on? We talk about subjects and at the end of it I'll tell you if the microphone is on or if it's off. If it's something that we need to debunk, we'll do it. If it's something that is on and we think it's good, we're just going to roll with it. So, is this thing on? President Trump, some of the things that he talked about in his inauguration speech. Wow, what a crazy day. Apparently, there's only two genders now. We finally solved the mystery of how many genders there are in the world. How crazy is it? In 2025, there is a debate that there's more than two genders. Like, guys, look at your hardware. That's what gender you are, right? Like, that's what gender you are. At least that's what I was taught. I'm 34 years old. I'm not that old. I can't imagine things have changed too much. But look at your hardware. That's what gender you are. Donald Trump officially saying that there's only two genders, and we're going to refer to it as such. Things like free speech, censorship, lifted. We're going to have more ability to be free. What about TikTok? How crazy was that? TikTok goes down for less than 24 hours and it's back due to the Donald. He's helping all of you guys. People were freaking out like, oh my gosh, my TikTok is gone. Donald's got your back. He turned it back on, baby. No big deal. Things like energy. We're going to drill, baby, drill. Holy smokes. Like the guy, the genius marketer he is. Drill, baby, drill. It just sounds fun. Sounds exciting. Sounds a little erotic. Sounds a little spicy. I can't wait to drill, baby, drill. Let's get this oil back in America. Let's bring these gas prices down so we can get prices down overall. We're going to secure the border. Man, how nice will that be? Now, don't get me wrong. I want people to come to America. I love America. I still feel it's the greatest country in the world. I feel it's the land of opportunity. There's no other country like it. And I wish that everybody could come here and experience the greatness of our country. And here's the cool part. They can. They totally can. But you have to do it the legal way and the right way. And that's what it is. So you're going to be securing the border. It's very exciting. Something that hasn't been secured recently. My favorite one out of everything that he said is just how he's going to start protecting American citizens and bringing the money back to the US. How we're going to have tariffs on all these other countries and how we're going to keep that money inside the United States. Man, it's crazy. Some of you guys got all upset, online. I've seen people say things like, he's crazy and all this stuff about the thing going on with Canada and how we're calling it the Gulf of America now. That's just hilarious. And the even funnier thing is that people get riled up about it. Like the whole thing going on with Canada is just ridiculous. And how, if you don't know the whole thing, and I don't claim to know it all, I'm not super into politics. I'm just very excited about what's going to happen. But Trump basically said they could be the 51st state of America. They got all pissed about it. And now there's this whole thing. People started resigning. And I'm sure there's a lot of details I'm leaving out, but it's just hilarious. So the Gulf of America, we're taking America back, and it's the greatest nation in the world. So is this thing on? Are the next 4 years really going to be the golden age of America? Maybe I'm just a eternal optimist, but I do think so. I really do. I don't think it's going to take off immediately. I think 2025 is going to be a good year. I think 2025 is going to be a year where winners can win. But if you aren't doing the right things, it's still going to be very tough for you. But I think by 2027, buckle up because a lot of things are going to flip. I think that we're going to get our nation back. I think there's going to be a lot of money in people's pockets. So what you do right now is going to greatly determine what your 2027 is like. But I feel like even in 2027, if you are not the best, you're still going to have a chance to really succeed. I think it's going to be a lot like 2019 and 2020 where people were making money. There's extra money going around. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a cleaning business in 2019, 2020. I know a lot of you guys probably had businesses then. It was harder to find workers for all the jobs we had than it was to find work. How crazy is that? In only a few years, things have completely shifted. So I think we're going to eventually get back to that point. I think 2025 is going to take some time for things to start getting implemented, but I do think we're going to see an uptick. So is this thing on? Is the Donald really going to help us change for the better and make this America's golden age? I think so. I think it's on. I think the mic is on. I think we're going to see a lot of really cool things happen. I think if you own a business, you should be very excited about what's going on. And even if you don't own a business, I think you should be excited about prices potentially coming down. I think you should be excited about our nation being unified and taking America back and making it wealthy again. So this thing is definitely on. Mic check moment. Donald Trump is going to help take us to the promised land. At least that's what I'm hoping for. And to be honest, guys, I never had any disdain for Biden. I always wanted him to succeed because why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we want our nation to succeed and to be an amazing country? I just didn't see him get the job done. So very excited for Donald Trump to come in. Now we're moving on to just the tips. This is the part of the show where we go over questions that people have, different things that they're thinking about, and we give them tip, but just the tip. Just a tip. We can't give them the full thing because I don't pretend to know everything. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a guy. I'm not a scholar. I just have been in business a few years, and I try to give you a couple tips now and then, but just a tip. So had a lot of people ask me questions. So I kind of lumped this into one question, but I had a lot of people ask me questions regarding what does this mean for our country going forward? What are some of the things that they should be considering doing to prepare for this golden age of America? How can they capitalize on this potential golden era that we're going into? I think the biggest thing is getting a solid game plan together and executing on that game plan consistently. Because like I said, I don't think 2025 is going to be setting the world on fire. Like, I don't think that people are going to make tons and tons and tons of money in 2025. I think it's going to take till 2026 and really 2027 before things really start to turn around and start to get good. So I would start putting a long-term plan together, something that will last more than a few years, and start executing on that plan daily. So here's what I do. I have a rule that if I'm not going to be doing something for at least 3 years and I can't see myself waking up in 2028 doing what I'm doing, I just don't start it, because I want to be in things that I can stick with for a long time, that I can marinate on, that I could put processes in place, that I could grow and scale. So after a few years, I can really get paid some big money and have some freedom in my life. So if you're in a business right now that you don't feel like you should be in 3 years, if you can see the writing on the wall, it's just not something you want to do, then I encourage you to pivot. And I talked about that on a previous show, but I encourage you to pivot and get into something that you want to do. I also encourage you to start building and start investing and start getting into things that you want to do for the long term. Like some of the things that we're doing is we're investing heavily into our 401k. We're investing heavily into our team and our business. We are deploying cash into things. We're buying a house. We're trying to put cash into things that will appreciate over time, because I do think that things are going to continue to go up. Some people are on the sidelines saying, should I buy a house right now? Should I wait? Should I wait for the rates? Personally, I feel like housing's only gonna go up from here, and waiting for the rates is not a good enough excuse to sit on the sidelines. If you want a house and you can afford a house, go out and buy it today. And if the rates do go down, which I think they will go down slightly, I don't think they're gonna go down like they were before in the 3s and 4s, but I think they will go down slightly. At that point, just refinance. At that point, refinance. I've been listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey recently. I know some of you guys are not a fan of Dave Ramsey, but man, that guy just wins with money. And I think if you do things the way that he says to do it, you're going to be successful. There's really no risk, no leverage, no debt. So I'd get a home, live below your means. I would get a home that is less than you can afford, and I would get into a loan product, and I would refinance. That's just what I would do. So to wrap up just the tips, keep moving, stay in motion, keep investing in yourself and your business, get new skills, hire people that can do work for you and with you and help you build your company, because we are entering an age where there's going to be some amazing, amazing things happen. So we're getting our country back. We're going to make a lot of money. All right, so we're going to move on to the last segment of the show. This is the mic drops segment. This is where I summarize what we talked about, and I give you guys some nuggets to take home and to implement in your life and business. So I think probably one of the biggest takeaways from this show is to always keep moving. I've made money under every single president. I actually made the most money I've ever made under President Biden. I don't think it was because of him necessarily. I think it was just because of grit and determination and a little bit of luck, and God's favor and blessing. But I would encourage you to keep moving under any president that we have, regardless of who it is. But I will say that having the Donald in office is just a mic drop moment in and of itself. Like, how exciting is that, guys? We got him back. Most people said that he wouldn't come back for a second term, but he just did a little sabbatical, and he got to hang out for a few years. And actually, it's so much better now because of the movement that we're going to have. So Donald Trump, if you ever listen to my show, I would greatly appreciate it. But well done, sir. Great job. Another mic drop moment. I just want to give credit where credit is due. Donald Trump, greatest marketer I've ever seen, greatest sales and influencer I've ever seen. That guy knows how to rally people together. And whether you love or hate him, just admit that he is so stinking good at what he does. He's so good. He's so charismatic. A lot of people were talking about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and the whole thing. You got to give credit where credit's due, guys. Whether you like Jake Paul or not, whether you think that he actually, just beat up a washed up Mike Tyson, it really doesn't matter. All that matters is that he is an amazing marketer. Give credit where credit's due. If you don't like Donald Trump, I don't care. Give him some credit for the stuff that he's done. He has really helped the economy. He's a great unifier, whether you want to believe it or not. And he gets stuff done. He doesn't waste time, and he's an amazing marketer. So very excited. Mic drop moment just for Donald Trump being in office. I'm so excited for it. Guys, we might be in the golden age. We might be. We're going to have to wait and see. Only time will tell. Guys, stay warm out there. It's freezing right now. It's going to turn around. But this is the Mike Check Yourself show, and I am signing off. I'm going to salute today for in honor of Donald Trump. So this is the Mike Check Yourself show. Let's make America wealthy again. Let's go.